What is going on, Dodger fans? Hope everyone's hanging in there. Your Los Angeles Dodgers are trailing the Toronto Blue Jays in the World Series 3-2 as they shift back to Toronto. This is Kevin Klein speaking, and you are listening to the Incline Dodgers podcast. We are presented by BLEAV and TickPick. I don't even know where to get started, but the Los Angeles Dodgers offense is currently MIA. I was at Dodger Stadium for Game 5, and my goodness, a lot of regrets going because that game was an absolute waste of time. The Dodgers fell to the Toronto Blue Jays 6-1. The Dodgers offense was a no-show for the third game in a row, to be honest. If we want to say that Game 3, Part 2, because it was an 18-inning game. They only scored one run over those 9 innings. I think they hadn't scored since the 7th, and then it took them actually till the 18th to walk it off. Then they were awful in Game 4, and then they were even worse in Game 5. The Dodgers never had any momentum in this game. I mean, literally on the first pitch, Blake Snell, who was so good for the Dodgers all season long, dominated in the playoffs, gave up literally a leadoff home run to Davis Schneider, of all people, on the very first pitch. George Springer out, no problem. Davis Schneider stepped right up, and that was the start of the game right there. Immediately after, about 2 or 3 pitches later, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. connects for a home run, and the Dodgers immediately find themselves down 2-0, and that could have been it. That would have been enough for the Blue Jays because the Dodgers offense was absolutely useless. We're going to try to figure out if there's any hope for the Dodgers to win Game 6 and hopefully force a Game 7, or potentially they might just be cooked. But appreciate everyone tuning in. Hit that like button. We'll take questions along the way. This is more of a Q&A type of episode, as well as previewing ahead to Game 6 and Game 7, because Dave Roberts did drop some strategic hints of what he would do if there is a Game 7. A lot of that involves Shohei Ohtani, but in order to have a Game 6, in order to have a Game 7, you need to win Game 6. So as bad as Blake Snell was, his pitching line is kind of unjust because Edgardo Henriquez came in and he was dog shit. The bullpen, Anthony Bonda has been a train wreck. Blake Trinan has been bad, did his job last night, but the game was already over. It's just not going our way. A lot of credit to Trey Yasevich. You got to give that guy the tip of your cap. He pitched his ass off. He had a game. But let's just start with the first inning yet again. So like we were just talking about, back-to-back home runs. Blake Snell has never done that in his major league career. On top of that, that has never happened in a World Series game where a team started off hitting back-to-back home runs to start a game. But the Dodgers unfortunately found themselves down 2-0 early. That could have been enough, honestly, because the Dodgers offense has just been MIA. They did show a little life in the third inning. It was the only time I was really able to get out of my seat and cheer. It was when Kike Hernandez hit a solo home run, and I couldn't believe that was the only run the Dodgers would score the entire game. It was one run in the third inning. And even if you want to call that a little bit of momentum, the Dodgers gave it back right away. Teoscar Hernandez played a ball so badly. It should have been a single. And for whatever reason, he tried to dive for it because, Teoscar Hernandez is totally known for his defense. Absolutely just a bonehead decision, diving for a ball that was clearly going to fall for a single. And because he did that, that ended up going from being a single to a triple. And of course, if you're going to give Varsho a triple with nobody out, for that matter, it's not going to be very hard for someone on the Toronto Blue Jays to drive him in. And that's exactly what happened. Immediately, Ernie Clement connected for a sac fly, and we found ourselves down 3-1. Very frustrating. I don't know what's going on with this Dodgers offense. Can someone help me find the Dodgers offense? They've been MIA now for over a week. It sucks. You would think after they won Game 3 with a walk-off home run, there'd be some momentum, but there was absolutely no momentum, unfortunately. They continue to go down 1, 2, 3. The top of the order between Mookie Betts, Ohtani, and Freeman have really been MIA, especially these last 2 games. I see BC pointing out, how bad the rest of the Dodgers are outside of Shohei, Freddie, Smith, Teo. But even Teo's been bad the last couple of games. Will Smith, I think he's honestly tired from catching 18 innings. They should have just sat him after game 3, especially the way the Dodgers played in game 4. Give his legs a day off. I mean, fortunately, the Dodgers offense, they won't disappoint us tonight because they have the off day. They're traveled. They're already taking BP in Toronto. But I am going to dive into what I think the Dodgers' strategy is, what the lineup should look like, what needs to change for game 6, as this is it. This is do or die. The Dodgers literally cannot afford to lose any more games or their season is over and the Toronto Blue Jays are World Series champions. And it's not impossible. There have been teams in the past that have been down 3-2 and they have to go back as the road team to the opposing stadium as the team that has the 3-2 lead is the home favorite. They've got the home field advantage, and it's been done. It was done in 2019. The Washington Nationals, they were down 3-2. They won both games in Houston. In 2016, the Chicago Cubs, they were down 3-2, and they had to go back to Cleveland. They managed to pull it off. They were actually down 3-1 in their series, and they won 3 straight, including the last 2 being in Cleveland, and they won their first World Series title in over 100 years. So if the Dodgers want to prove that they are the better team, if they want to prove that they have what it takes to overcome adversity, well, this is about as tough as an adverse moment will be for the Dodgers in the 2025 season. It's kind of felt like all regular season long, they were kind of phoning it in. They had a lot of punt games. They gave random guys starts that had no business being in the big leagues, like Buddy Kennedy, Matt Sauer, you name it. What's up, Moose? Appreciate everyone tuning in. If you got questions for me, hit that like button and drop some questions. We're here to talk some Dodgers and what the Dodgers need to do to win game 6 and hopefully force a game 7. But nonetheless, as bad as it seems right now, we're not out of it just yet. But the Dodgers offense really is going to need to wake up. And I think at the top, it starts with Mookie Betts starting to do something. Mookie Betts has had some bad series. This is probably the worst series I've ever seen Mookie Betts have. And I'm not going off a 3-game sample size where he went 0 for 11 or whatever. Going 3 for 23 against the Toronto Blue Jays is just absolutely abysmal. It's unacceptable. I mean, he's got a 361 OPS. He has 0 home runs in the entire postseason. He's got 0 RBIs in the World Series. Even Isaiah Kiner-Falefa has an RBI while Mookie Betts does it. And if Mookie Betts was our 8-hole or 9-hole hitter, I wouldn't be losing my mind. But it's the fact that Mookie Betts was batting second every single game right behind Shohei Ohtani. And then Dave Roberts had enough. They had to move him down to the 3-hole. And how does Mookie Betts respond? He responds by doing absolutely nothing. And then after the game, just lazy post-game interview just saying, I sucked. It didn't even seem like his heart was truly even in it. Absolutely frustrating stuff. I hope Mookie Betts cares. I'm pretty sure he does. But based off the way he's been playing with the bat, it seems like he's already thinking about his Cancun or Cabo vacation because he's been useless. Going, again, 3 for 23. He's got just 3 lousy hits, 3 walks, 0. Yeah, no extra base hits at all. He's got 3 singles. Like, is Mookie Betts now Walmart Luis Arias? Is this what I've signed up for? He no longer can hit for extra base hits. He had no extra base hits, or I take that back. He had 1 triple against the Phillies, but no doubles, no home runs. He then had just 1 measly double against the Brewers, no home runs, no triples. And in this World Series, the biggest stage of them all, he's got no extra base hits. He was great against the Cincinnati Reds, but guess what? It's the Cincinnati Reds. as a whole now in the postseason, including the Reds, he's hitting 234 with a 647 OPS. I mean, this is a guy that even in his career in the postseason has a 742 OPS, and it's dropped nearly 100 points to a 647 OPS. During the regular season, Mookie Betts is a 290 hitter with an 881 OPS. I would even have taken Mookie Betts 2025 regular season, 258 with a 732 OPS, but he's completely fallen off. I don't know what's happened to him. This guy is just an absolute train wreck right now. And honestly, I don't know what the approach needs to be with Mookie Betts. I don't know if he's trying to hit home runs, and every single time he puts his bat on the ball, he just pops it up, because it feels like every time Mookie Betts is up there, he's just going to pop it up. And that's a sick feeling in my stomach. This is a guy for his entire Dodgers tenure up until this year where I felt really good with Mookie Betts at the plate. I felt like he could do something magical. And now when I see Mookie Betts up there at the plate, I feel like he's an automatic out. So what do the Dodgers do with what does the Dodgers and Dave Roberts do with Mookie Betts in Game 6? I think that is the biggest question. Personally, what I would do is I would not bat him third, because batting him third seemed to actually make him worse. So that begs the question now, can you bat Mookie Betts lower in the order? I don't know if his ego can take it, to be honest. If they bat Mookie Betts 5th or 6th, which probably is the right thing to do, I don't think he's going to respond in a positive way. I think he'll just end up being Debbie Downer and honestly phone it in up there. It just doesn't seem like Mookie Betts is having much fun at all this season. I know the season got off to a rocky start when he underwent the foodborne illness or the stomach ailment, and he cost him to lose somewhere in the range from 25 to 30 pounds. But he was hitting the ball great. He actually had pretty good numbers. And then he kind of fell into a little bit of a slump. We don't know why. And then in July, out of nowhere, he just was absolutely trash. Dave Roberts benched him for a game or two. And then at some point in early August, he told Fabian Ardaya that this season it's over. Like he basically said, I'm all my chances of winning MVPs and accolades, like I have to approach the season like it's over. And essentially he flushed it all down and was going to do a full reset. And there was a good month and a half, 2 months where Mookie Betts was feasting off bad teams. He was taking it to teams like the Colorado Rockies and the Angels and Arizona, who at that point was, hurting for pitching because they traded half their team away. And he went off against the Pirates. I mean, he had some good moments against Pittsburgh, another bad team. He seemed to have no problem hitting against St. Louis. But again, like you look at the Dodgers' strength of schedule from August on, they had the easiest schedule remaining of any Major League Baseball team. So as much as it was kind of a nice sight to see Mookie Betts starting to heat up, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt because he was feasting off especially a lot of games against the Colorado Rockies. And guess what? Teams like the Colorado Rockies, they're not going to be in the postseason. You're going to face the best of the best. And that's what happened with the Brewers. They shut him down. That's happened with the Phillies. They shut him down. And even the Toronto Blue Jays that don't have great pitching, they're shutting him down. So it's pretty it's kind of just dumbfounded me how Mookie Betts has just fallen off like this. And I think blaming his age is such a weak ass excuse. I mean, if he was 38, sure, but he's like 33. He's freaking my age. There's no reason for this drop off for Mookie Betts. This is a guy 2 years ago had an 8.6 WAR, had a 987 OPS with 39 home runs. Even last year, he had a really good season, and that was despite missing 50 games, give or take, because of the hand injury. He still had an OPS of 863. He had 19 home runs, 75 RBIs. But this year, basically played a full season. We saw the batting average drop from 307 to 289 to now 258. The on-base percentage went from 408 to 372 to 326, and the slugging went from 579 to 491 to 406. There's a lot of factors that could be going into why Mookie Betts has fallen off. Age to me is honestly not a great excuse at all. Could it be the stomach ailment? I don't really buy that either. That was in March. We're in freaking October now. Could it be him playing shortstop? I kind of think so. I think when a guy goes from playing right field, which isn't all that taxing, to now you're an everyday shortstop, which is the most physically demanding position outside of catcher on a baseball player, and you're in your early 30s and you're making this adjustment, I absolutely do think it's going to backfire. And I think it led to some bad habits. I think it led to some changes in his routine as well. I think he put less time in the batting cage and more time fielding at shortstop. And guess what? It's just not working. So I don't know what the Dodgers are going to do with Mookie Betts next season. I honestly, I don't, as good as he was with the glove, he proved that he can handle the position defensively. I don't think the trade-off for the bat is worth it. Let me know if you guys disagree, but I just think the fall off with Mookie Betts, it's not just coincidence that he got a year older and that this was meant to happen, or that he's smaller. I literally think him playing shortstop is taking a toll on him. I mean, look at BC. Freddie Freeman had his best full season at the age of 33. 60 doubles, 335 batting average. Mookie Betts is 33. He can't do anything near that. We'd be lucky if Mookie Betts had 30 doubles this season. He's the power drop off is just it's really unfortunate. It's bad timing, and we need Mookie Betts to freaking turn it around starting in Game 6. You can completely wipe out your entire bad postseason narrative with one good game. That's exactly what Shohei Ohtani did against the Milwaukee Brewers. People were knocking him, saying he can't deliver in October. He's not a good postseason hitter. And with literally the flip of the switch, one good game, he completely erased all those doubts. 3 home runs, the 10 strikeouts, and 6 shutout innings in one game. Ohtani proved to the haters that this guy can perform at the biggest stage. We need to see that from Mookie Betts at some point in this 2025 World Series. We are literally out of time. Game 6 could be it. So he needs to step up now and literally prove to the point that he can deliver, because he is a Hall of Fame player for a reason. He's, in my opinion, he should be our second best player. He's played like our 5th or 6th best player, unfortunately, this season. And that's because there were some really bad eggs mixed in there, like a Michael Conforto. Teoscar Hernandez kind of had a down regular season. Max Muncy was inconsistent. Kike Hernandez, he had a very kind of, I would say, disappointing regular season as well. But yeah, Mookie Betts needs to be playing at an all-star level, considering how much they're paying. Considering where they bat him in the lineup. So I'm going to take a quick pause right there to see if anyone has any questions for me. Again, make sure to hit that like button, share it with your friends. But I think it's time to kind of transition in a second to what the Dodgers starting lineup needs to look like in Game 6. Then I'll circle back with some more thoughts about our approach and how it just was looking so bad, especially against Trey Savage, who had the game of his life. I mean, the guy was in he started the year in single A. He was drafted last year, comes out firing, had 12 strikeouts. The Dodgers had no answer. So I'm just tweeting real quick to see if anyone else wants to join. And then let's get into what the Dodgers lineup needs to look like for Game 6, the decisive Game 6, unfortunately, where the Blue Jays will be going with their best pitcher, arguably, Kevin Gausman, who had a really good regular season. But if there's one thing to be optimistic about, is when the first time Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Kevin Gausman faced off head-to-head, Yoshinobu Yamamoto bested him. And hopefully we can rekindle that magic and have this go yet again. Will Smith went off against Gausman. He had a home run, had an RBI base hit. Max Muncy took him deep. So I see some questions. I'm going to get to those in a second. But let's get into what I think the Dodgers lineup is going to look like. So one of the issues that's been really pissing me off recently is that there's nobody good in front of Shohei Ohtani. It seems like every time Shohei Ohtani is due up to bat, it's with the bases empty. Whether it's obviously to lead off the game, which is fine, But then we get to his second time around, nobody's on base. We get to his third time around, nobody's on base. We get to his fourth time around, and there's nobody on base. So what do the Dodgers have to do to adjust that? I think we're in too big of a hole right now to even try to worry about the bottom of the order getting their heads out of their asses. I just don't think anyone's capable of doing it, unfortunately. So this is something that I think the Dodgers are going to really have to focus in on come offseason, which is acquiring a new leadoff hitter. Probably someone that's not in the organization right now. They're going to need to find someone to bat leadoff in front of Shohei Ohtani. But for Game 6, we're going to have to work with what we have. And so as much as I've been bagging on him and asking him to step up, I think there's only one option right now that the Dodgers can turn to lead off in Game 6. And it doesn't make a lot of sense given how bad he's played. But you can't bat him ninth because that's going to really piss him off. And he'll probably just ask for a trade, to be honest. So how do you get someone in front of Shohei Ohtani? I think Mookie Betts is going to lead off in Game 6. As risky as it is, it seems to be the only part of the order that he really embraces. For whatever reason, Mookie Betts just has not been that effective batting second this year. I know it worked last year. They won the World Series with him in the 2-hole. But I'm throwing out my hot take now. The only way to appease Mookie Betts, the only way to hope that he can work something and maybe get on base, whether it's a walk or a single, or hope that because the pitcher, maybe Gaussman or a reliever that comes in, they are too worried about Ohtani being due up that they accidentally throw a mistake pitch to Mookie and he singles on to get something going for Ohtani. So I think they're going to go Mookie Betts lead off. I think they're going to go Shohei second. I think you'll bat Will Smith third because he had a lot of success against Gaussman. I would go Freddie Freeman in the cleanup spot. Max Muncy, he had a home run. I think you're going with Max Muncy fifth. Teoscar Hernandez really struggled against Gaussman. He K'd like 3 or 4 times in that game. But I don't think there's anyone worth batting in front of him. So I think you go Teoscar sixth. Kike Hernandez, I'm batting him 7th. You can go Tommy Edman 8th. And then do not put Alex Call in the lineup again. He is just so bad. He's a lame duck. He's useless. Go to the veteran, Miguel Rojas. You get the start. I don't care if Edman's ankles are cooked. He can tough it out for a game. Tommy Edman, you're going to center field. Miguel Rojas, you're going to second base. And that's how I take it. So there's your lineup. I think that's unfortunately the solution. Mookie Betts is going to bat leadoff. Miguel Rojas is going to bat ninth. You have 2 veterans by the time we go one time through in front of Ohtani. So hopefully Rojas can single. If there's a runner on first or second with less than 2 outs, maybe, or hopefully no outs, Rojas will lay down a bunt. Mookie Betts can get a single or a sac fly, or Ohtani gets a run in. But we're desperate here. Like, we are literally junkies right now on the street begging for a run because the Dodgers have robbed us of what they should be doing for the last 3 games now. So Craig Osterberg, always appreciate Craig tuning in here. Who pitches Game 7, Ohtani or Glasnow starting? Well, this is something I'm going to talk about, so I might as well just get into it now. Here's the issue. Ohtani either has to start the game or he has to come in near the very end of the game. Because of how the rules work, if you remove Shohei Ohtani in a relief role, when it's his time to come through to bat up, he'll have already been out of the game. So you can't really put Ohtani in middle innings. He can't be the guy to relieve Glasnow. And you can put Ohtani late in the game, but you run the risk that if the Blue Jays were to tie it, or if the game has already been tied or it's a close game and you need that Ohtani at bat, you might not get it. So I think this is honestly a case-by-case situation right now. Dave Roberts said everything's on the table. So he also mentioned that Shohei Ohtani could play the outfield. So if Ohtani does come in middle relief, then they'll just move him to the outfield, something he has not done all season long. So that's a huge risk. Do I think Ohtani can handle it? I think Ohtani would be a better defender than Teoscar Hernandez. So I'll leave it at that. I honestly don't think Ohtani would be a downgrade to Teoscar Hernandez's defense. But how I think they're going to lay it out. So first of all, it really hinges on how does Ohtani feel? If Ohtani feels good enough to go out there, I honestly don't hate the idea of making him the opener and having him go an inning or two or one time through the lineup, see what he can get you. And then that's when you turn it into a bullpen game. So at some point, maybe you hand it off to Tyler Glasnow, maybe you don't. But honestly, I think the way Glasnow pitched in his most recent outing, he left an absolute hanging curveball that got obliterated for a home run. I don't know if I want Tyler Glasnow in a Game 7 do or die on the road in Toronto. Do I want Ohtani out there on shorter rest? It's a huge question, but I think I'm crazy enough to just risk it and ride it out and see what happens with Shohei Ohtani. He threw that one bad sweeper slider that just did not break to Guerrero Jr., but other than that, he pitched pretty good. I think Dave Roberts left Ohtani in too long, and he was out of gas in the 7th. So Adolph, Hipster, assuming Yamamoto wins again, what would be your pitching plan? So I think I'm opening with Ohtani one time through. Then I'm handing it off to probably someone in the bullpen. Who? I have no freaking idea because I don't trust Henriquez. Dude is a scrub. Wouldn't mind if they got rid of him in the offseason. He's just effectively too out. Will Klein, if he's not pitching in Game 6, get Will Klein out there for Game 7. The guy just has the tenacity. He's got that it factor. Give me some Will Klein in Game 7. Who else do I trust? I mean, you got Roki Sasaki, but you need Roki Sasaki probably near the end to close it. Jack Dreyer, I trust him. I think Jack Dreyer is a plug-and-play guy. But Trinan can't be trusted. Bonda can't be trusted. Emmett Sheehan, maybe, but he's just been so inconsistent. I don't know if I'm willing to go to Emmett Sheehan either. The bullpen's bad. I mean, what can I say? It's the one thing that the Dodgers are going to really have to address in the offseason is fixing that freaking awful bullpen. From IV, unironically, Mookie batting 9th would be an amazing idea for Game 6 tomorrow. He's not hitting shit anyways. If he's going to get a hit, at least it would be on for Ohtani. The problem is I don't think Mookie Betts' ego could handle batting 9th, and I think that would honestly rub him so wrong that he might demand a trade in the winter because, I mean, athletes have egos, and a guy like Mookie Betts does not want to bat 9th. It's just gonna really break him. So I think you gotta keep his confidence up. So that's why I think they're gonna bat Mookie leadoff. I unfortunately I think they're desperate now. They got to do something. We got some Blue Jays fans in here. Go ahead. You can taunt all you want. You guys are up right now, so I'm not gonna deny those facts. But let's see what else we've got going on. So their approach against Trey Yasevich was just terrible. I mean, I thought this guy was the second time going through facing him, because I mean they held their own overall against him in game 1. I mean, he did enough to give the Blue Jays the lead, but at the same time, I felt like the Dodgers let him off the hook. But that was not the case in this most recent game. I mean, he threw just 3 pitches, and it didn't seem to matter. The Dodgers had no response for those 3 pitches. They whiffed 48% of the time on swinging sliders. It's not good. They whiffed 70% of the time when they swung on splitters. And they didn't whiff a lot on the 4-seam fastball, but that apparently did not matter because they had no response for this guy. They couldn't work walks. They couldn't get hits. They couldn't even really get runners in scoring position. They literally were 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position. That's pathetic. That is just absolutely pathetic. I would love for them to make a move off Rob Van Scoyoc, because I feel like he's added nothing, and it's really shown in the playoffs. Like, the Dodgers aren't winning these playoff games because of their hitting. They're winning these playoff games, honestly, because the starting pitching was carrying them. But unfortunately, the starting pitching's Cinderella run appears to have run out. And so now they have to rely on the offense, and the offense has just been a non-factor. So I just was pulling up real quick. So we talked about how bad game 5 was. Unfortunately, that was not fun to be there. They also were just not good in game 4. I mean, Shane Bieber held it down for them, and so that makes me think if there is a game 7, I don't think the Blue Jays would give the ball to Max Scherzer because Max Scherzer's been their worst pitcher. I think they'd go to Shane Bieber, to be honest. And the way we tackled Shane Bieber, it was not good. He threw 5 1/3 innings and only gave up a run. Again, our Dodgers offense was lifeless out there. They freaking had 2 runs. They gave Ohtani no run support, and Bonda was awful. Trinan was awful. And we were awful with runners in scoring position in that game. We were 0 for 5. So there's a number of guys out there that they need to step up, even including Ohtani in that mix. The one thing that I need from Shohei Ohtani now in these last 2 games is another legacy performance. It's time for Ohtani on the biggest stage with the most amount of pressure applied now. We are literally in must-win territory. It's time for Ohtani to have another breakout game. And if that means hitting solo home runs, then so be it, because he can't help if there's no one on base for him. But I need Ohtani to have another legendary performance like he did in game 3 when he got on base 9 times. Like, go 4 for 4. Just go off, dude. We need Mookie Betts to do something. Would love for Freddie Freeman to step up. I think Will Smith has figured out Gaussman, so I think Will Smith's going to continue to deliver against Kevin. So I have faith. But Max Muncy, another guy, like, where are you, bro? Everyone all season long called this guy the linchpin of the Dodgers offense. When he went out with the oblique injury, people were saying the Dodgers offensive fall off was because they didn't have Max Muncy in the lineup. Well, now they got Max Muncy back in the lineup, and the offense still isn't there. He's hitting 188 this October with a 693 OPS. He's just looked bad, to be honest. Like, Max Muncy has also just looked bad. This is a guy that used to have tons of big October moments, and now it's been a hot second since we've seen anything for Max Muncy. Tommy Edman would love for him to step up too. I mean, the Dodgers gave him a 5-year extension, and he's been pretty disappointing so far in year 1. And then Andy Pages, I think he's still going to be on the bench. I don't like Alex Call. I don't think he's good. I would go with Miguel Rojas. So let's see what happens. Let's go last call for questions. I see some comments, so I'm going to take a look at that. But this is it, guys. If the Dodgers lose tomorrow, it is over. So we cannot afford the loss. I do not want the season to freaking end. Like, to lose to the Toronto Blue Jays would kind of be a surprise to me because I didn't think the Blue Jays pitching was all that great. So we've got Buddy Trolley Dodgers saying Klein, Shohei has to do something big for us. This is his chance to cement his legacy as the GOAT. Drag this slumping team to the promised land. Come on, Shohei. It's 2016 LeBron vibes. I got you. I agree. Like, there have been bigger deficits in Dodgers history. There have been bigger deficits in baseball history. When the Cleveland Cavaliers were down 3-1 against the 73-win Golden State Warriors, did they back down? They did not. When the 2020 Dodgers were down 3-1 against the Atlanta Braves, did they back down? No, they fought back. We got some of those guys still on the team, like Kike Hernandez, Mookie Betts. I see you. It's time to step up. Will Smith, of course. He had the big Game 5 home run. They can do it. But we really have to approach this one game at a time, and it starts with Yoshinobu Yamamoto. I think Yoshinobu Yamamoto is going to continue to do what Yoshinobu Yamamoto has done in these last 2 rounds especially. He's our ace. This is a guy you can trust with your season on the line. I think this guy loves the big moment. He embraces the adversity. Quoted saying losing is not an option. He's coming off a complete game. He also was ready to throw if the Dodgers needed him in the 19th inning. Literally a game removed from throwing a complete game, because this is a winner. This is a winner. He's already got a World Series championship. He's already pitched in the World Series. His World Series ERA as a whole, like, It's only 2 starts because that's all he's been able to be given so far. But he's got a 1.17 ERA in the World Series. 2 starts. He's thrown 15 in the third innings, 1.17 ERA. I believe in Yoshinobu Yamamoto. It's just going to come down to the Dodgers offense. And also even the bullpen, for that matter, because I think it'd be kind of naive to expect another complete game from Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Does that make it impossible? Absolutely not. It's not impossible. He could throw another complete game, but it's just unrealistic expectations. But we're going to need it. We're going to need the bullpen to be limited as much as possible. I'm hoping Yamamoto goes 7 innings. I'm hoping we get Roki Sasaki in there for at least 1 inning. And then that other inning, that's the mystery. I don't know who it would be. It kind of just depends of who's up. It could be Jack Dreyer. It could be Will Klein. Better not be Blake Trinan. It better not be Anthony Bonda. And it better not be Edgardo Henriquez. It better not be one of these scrubs. Like, that's why I'm not being as hard on Dave Roberts, because he doesn't have many options, and I have to be a realist. He did mess up in the game, the most recent game, when it was Vladimir Guerrero Jr. up in the 7th inning, I guess. Runners on first and third, 2 outs. Blake Snell is coming off 115 pitches, so they pulled Snell, which I get. That's just way too high of a pitch count. But in that moment, it was only 3-1 at that point in time. Like, this is where you need to get that last out to keep the Dodgers in it by any stretch. And instead of going to Roki, which I felt like was the high leverage moment you have to go to, it's basically like the ALCS all over again, where instead of going to Munoz, they went to Bizardo or whatever his name is, when it should have been Munoz in against Springer. We fucked up. We went with Henriquez, who's been wild and all over the place all season long, a rookie who throws hard but doesn't locate very well, against Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Should have been Roki Sasaki. I don't care. Roki could have gone out there, got the out, and then you throw him out there for the 8th. But they go to Henriquez, and it just backfired. He allowed a run to score. He had a meltdown. And at that point in time, the Dodgers just completely fell on their face. So it's been frustrating. It has not been the World Series that I was expecting. But hey, it ain't over till it's over. And they just have to go out there and start hitting. So I'm curious to see what the lineup will be. I do think they're gonna move some pieces around. The only guy you can really make a change at is probably Miguel Rojas. I don't think anyone else would get benched. So Rojas in, call out. But yeah, I don't see any other questions, but appreciate everyone tuning in to the live stream. If you do have any comments for the YouTube channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below of what your frustrations might be with the Dodgers. Drop a question, hit the like button, drop a prediction. If you're listening on the audio feed, we've got Apple, Spotify, Amazon, I think Google. Appreciate everyone listening on the audio feed, and for me ranting for the last 40 minutes. Yeah, it's not fun, but that's what this Dodger season has been like. It's been a roller coaster, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and we find ourselves in a down again. But it's not over, and we'll see what happens. So tomorrow, Halloween, there will be a live show after the game at some point. Hopefully it's a celebration episode, and we're talking about what we'll do in Game 7. Otherwise, it'll be, I guess, the last episode of the regular season, and we shift towards the off season. But yeah, Kevin Klein here, Incline Dodgers podcast.